right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahasham Makakodash, double honors to the other apostles of Great Millstone, citations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahasham Makakodash, in truth and sincerity, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahasham Makakodash, Barakatam to you all. All right, so as you see on the screen, there's this article that came out, all right, on Business Insider, okay.com. World on fire, 13 major protests happening around the globe right now. Okay, and pretty much this article goes into how there's these protests and these uproars erupting globally. Okay, and these uproars are making international headlines. Okay, it's happening all over the world. Okay, you have protests in China and India. All right, you have protests in France. Okay, you have protests in Russia, Haiti, all right, Peru. Okay, protests happening here in the United States. Recently, you had a global climate change uproar that was happening globally as well. Okay, so we can clearly see the unfolding of biblical prophecy. Okay, we're in the latter days. Yahushua is coming back. Bottom line, okay. All right, and it's clear to see, man, all right, that the scriptures are real. Okay, we do indeed have the sure word of prophecy. Okay, and that gives us more fuel in the tank to continue to fight. Okay, and to continue to endure and continue to remain in this work of ours, because clearly the Lord is showing us that He's with us. Okay, all right, because the things that are happening right now in the world, as far as prophecy is concerned, okay, brothers that have been laboring in this truth have been saying these things for years, man. Okay, before these things began happening on the level that they're happening now. Okay, and the fact that they're taking place now, man, it just shows you, man, that the Lord is with us. Okay, that He's dealing with us. Okay, that He hears our cries, He hears our prayers. Okay, and that He's coming back ultimately to return and establish His kingdom upon the earth and to give reward to His prophets, man. Okay, and that He's coming back to deliver us, man. Okay, so with that, man, I'm gonna start. I'll probably read a little bit of this article. I'll read a little bit of this article, and then I'll start going into some scriptures. Okay, so it says protests have long been a powerful political tool for enacting change and expressing discontent. From the civil rights movement, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, to Indian independence, protests have left powerful marks upon the world. Historically, protests have served as an outlet for marginalized people, groups to articulate their frustrations and make their demands known. One such example is New York's Stonewall riots, which kicked off the modern pride movement and the mainstream LGBTQ visibility. Okay, which that's total abomination. Okay, but nonetheless, that the fact that we're even seeing these things, man, you can't even do nothing against the truth before the truth, man. Okay, because you got these homosexuals getting riled up and protesting, okay, for their so-called rights, and these transgenders and lesbians, that are committing all these abominable acts. Okay, even in the fact that they're rallying up and uproaring, man, that shows the scriptures to be true, man. Okay, which shows that you can do nothing against the truth before the truth, man, because the scriptures say that in the latter days there shall be uproars of the people. Okay, the scriptures say in the latter days it shall be as Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, and wickedness would abound. Okay, in that particular fashion. Okay, so there you have it, man. Biblical prophecy is being fulfilled, man. The Bible is the truth. Okay, all right, continuing, it says today protests like last month's global climate strike and Hong Kong's ongoing mass protests are calls for politicians to change their policies. The climate strike, for example, drew over 6 million protesters around the world, making it the biggest demonstration against climate change in history. Okay. It says while protests have changed significantly with the rise of technology and social media, they are still powerful agents for change. All right, and I just want to jump down. I want to jump down to this quote. Okay, right here. I'm going to highlight it real quick. if I can. Right. Okay. So the highlighted part, it says, right. It says the thing is, though in the past you can think of protest as an exclamation mark at the end of a long sentence, whereas now, right now, it is just the first word in a potential sentence. Okay. To vec C told Y in or WNYC. Okay. Which what is that? This statement stands out to me. Okay. And the reason being is because what it implies. Okay. Because right here it says in the past protests were as an exclamation mark at the end of a long sentence. Okay, which means what? That in the past, large protests and demonstrations openly in the public were more like a last resort. Okay, that's like, okay, the straw broke the camel's back, and so people are uprising in the streets. Okay, but it says, whereas right now it is just the first word in a potential sentence. So that means that people are getting more how would I say, ready. Okay, all right, more willing to go to the streets and protest and uproar and rise against the policies of their politicians and their government more quickly now than they were in the past, man. And that goes to show you, man, that the scriptures are true, man. Okay, all right, that shows you that we're in the last days, man. All right, because in the book of Second Esdras, man, it tells you, all right, that you're gonna see uproars of the people in the world, man. All right. And so right now I'm going to read Second Esdras, the 9th chapter. Okay. Second Esdras 9:1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay, so the Lord lets us know, man, that when we see these uproars, and when we see these revolts, we see these protests, these riots, okay, and earthquakes and these other signs, man, that it is the time wherein the Most High shall begin to visit the world which he made, man. Okay, and that the Most High spoke these things from the beginning, man. All right, so clearly, man, the biblical prophecy is what is playing out and what we're witnessing on the earth, man. Biblical prophecy is what is reigning supreme on the earth right now, man. Okay, all right, and from there I just want to because I'm just gonna run through a few precepts. Okay, because when you read this article, it lets you know the different protests that are going on in the world. All right, there's protests going on in Hong Kong, okay, in Russia, all right, in Peru, okay, in Haiti, all right. There's protests going on in France, all right, Indonesia, that's another one, okay, the Netherlands. We talked about France already. Russia, Peru, Haiti, right? Because they want to overthrow their the president. Okay, Egypt. Okay, Lebanon, and Syria. Okay, so it's going down on Earth, man. Okay, the world is on fire, man. Like the article opened up with, man. Okay, protests erupting in Iraq against the prime minister. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can read this article on your own free time. You know, I just wanted to go into some precepts, man. You know, just show, man, that what we've been saying is happening, man, and what the scriptures say is true, man. Okay. Let's go to Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, and verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Second Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay, all right. And in a lot of these protests, you have the police. Okay, police trying to police the people, trying to contain the uproar. Okay, and they have their weapons and their armors on them. And then you also have the protests sometimes. The protesters that sometimes get violent and throw things at the police. Okay, so you can kind of liken that to one people fighting against another man. Okay, and having swords in their hands. And for there shall be sedition among men. Okay, and invading one another. Okay, so that's an example of sedition. These protests, all right, these uproars of the people, civil unrest, right? And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, so there you go, man. All right, seditions amongst men, man. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, man. So you see these protests. Okay, these protesters around the globe, man, are protesting against the policies of their politicians, man, against their elected leaders, okay, the rulers of their nations, man, okay, all right, and that's fulfillment of what's written in verse 16, man, all right, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, man, they're blocking off streets, they're rioting and protesting in the streets against the policies of their politicians, against their presidents and so on and so forth, against their prime ministers, all right, and things of that nature, man. Okay, all according to the biblical prophecy, man. Okay, all right, and the word sedition is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. That's clearly what we see, man. That's clearly what's going on in the earth, man. Okay, and even the title of this article was spiritual, all right, because the title of the article is what? Okay, World on Fire. Okay, World on Fire. 13 major protests happening around the globe. Okay, and where do you find that in the scriptures? Okay, Luke chapter 12. Where is that? I believe it's Luke chapter 12, verse 51. Okay, Luke chapter 12 and 51, it says, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. Well, actually, no, I'm going to start at verse 49. So I made a mistake. It says, again, all right, just to show that the title or the headline of this article is, okay, World on Fire, 13 that's happening, all right, around the world, okay, around the globe, okay. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Luke chapter 12, verse 49. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. Okay, all right, so the part of the fire, all right, part of the fiery trial that the Lord is bringing upon the earth, okay, is the division that's taking place amongst the people. All right, so even the title, man, okay, is in alignment with biblical prophecy, man. Even the title, man. All right, let's see if I can get that. Scroll back up. World on Fire. World on Fire. Major protest happening around now. Okay, all right, so again, that's in alignment with what's written in the scriptures, man. Okay, I'm come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I'm come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, rather division. Okay, so that right there again just shows you that the Bible is true, man. Okay, all right, and that the Lord has been reason to lose faith. Okay, there's no reason to not hold on to this faith, to continue to fight, man, because clearly the Lord is with us, man. Okay, clearly the Lord is through us prophesy these things to take place, man. All right, and I'm gonna close out with Luke chapter 21, verse 25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Okay, the stress of nations with perplexity. These people protesting is because they are in distress. These nations are in distress and they are perplexed, man. Okay, all right. These people feel that they're oppressed. Okay, they feel like their government has betrayed them. The ruling powers are not giving them a fair shake. Okay, so that's why they're protesting. Verse 26: men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, man. Okay, and this whole earth is being shaken, man. These nations are confused as to what's happening. These governments of these nations, they are perplexed as to what's going on in the earth, man. But we, as the prophets, we know what's going on, okay, because we're watching the signs, man. And the Lord has not left us in darkness that day should overtake us as a thief, man. All right, we have the guideline, we have the blueprint of what's going on the earth. Okay, so when we see these earthquakes and these uproars, okay, and all these things happening on a massive scale, unlike ever before, man. All right, we're not shaken, man. But these heathens and these 2/3 of these people, they're shaken, man, and that's why they're out there rioting in the streets, man. Okay, because their hope is in this life and in this world. Okay, and once the bottom seems to be falling out, they're gonna lose their minds, man, and that's what you're seeing, man. All right, a beginning stage of that. All right, and it's only gonna get worse. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, this video is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakodash, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in truth and sincerity. Shalom.